bad.
It's already recording. You just go.
Sorry, I gotta hook up my Bluetooth. My bad.
I love it. I say, do you want to do live recording? You say, yeah. I'm just gonna let it ride. For all those watching, this is what you get. This is real life. There we go.
There's the music. All right. Yo, what is up, everybody? You know what time it is. That's right. It is time for the Off the Bench podcast. I am Daniel Ball, and I'm joined as always by my co-host, my partner in crime, my brother from another mother, Jim Cross. And Jim, tonight we got a good one. We always got good ones, but we got a really special one tonight. We're talking to Addison Fatta, Oklahoma gymnast. She's going to be telling us her story. She's going to be talking about big expectations. She's going to be talking about what could have been last year and kind of the vibe that they got going on this year, because I'm expecting big things. You're expecting big things from Oklahoma Gym this year. So we'll get her story. We'll get all that. But first, we got to pay the bills. You got to plug the sponsors. Chinook Seedery, whether you're on the field or in the boardroom signing deals, Chinook will help you get the job done. Memphis City Designs, get your brands, gear, and logos on everything from shoes to underoos. Memphis City's got you covered. As a matter of fact, they got you so covered that you can get your Off the Bench podcast gear while supplies last. Smith's Plumbing Services, you got a sink clog, drain clog, toilet clog, or anything in between. Come aboard Dustin at Smith's Plumbing Services so they can take good care of you. And finally, Old Dominic Distillery. Experience 150 years of tradition in the heart of downtown Memphis. From bourbon to vodka, whiskey to gin, Old Dominic's got you covered. Stop in today for a free tour or just to pick up your favorite bottle. And as always, tell them DB from the Off the Bench podcast sent you. Jim, there's no need in wasting any time. Let's get right to it. Help me welcome on to the show with the biggest interview in podcasting this week. Superstar Oklahoma gymnast Addison Fatta.
Well, I'm going to welcome on Addison. Addison, how you doing tonight?
I'm great. How are you guys?
I'm doing good.
What did I say? Did I say it wrong?
You said Allison twice, but you know what? We just let it ride. Like, you know,
y'all we are going to stop me. That's bad. That's real bad.
What I decided, Daniel, was, you know what? I wanted to show people we were authentic. And what it really shows, though, Addison, honestly, I told you that me and you were doing this show alone. He jumped on this last minute because he found it important that he be here. So that just kind of shows that he wasn't prepared as he normally would be, but it also shows that he's dedicated to the game, to getting your story. So we'll let that one slide.
I don't want – it almost shows that I'm a fraud. Like, that's bad. I apologize, Addison.
No, it's really okay.
Not only is your name popping up at the bottom, I have it written in front of me, and I feel like in my head I said Addison, but clearly I did not.
One would say you kind of looked like Alabama on the beam in the semifinals in Fort Worth.
Just shell-shocked.
Shell-shocked. No, that was rude, and I shouldn't have said that, but I figured you know what? I diverted all the negative energy off you. Now I'm a villain for taking a shot at Alabama, and we're going to move on to Oklahoma. Addison, how are we doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
I mean, clearly we cannot start later than 8:30 because we are just discombobulated. But needless to say, I sent you messages. I was getting to go to a baseball game, got to see one of our guests. It's the same thing we plan on doing with you. We like to go support all our guests, no matter what the sport is, try to get around. And so tonight he happened to be coming in my city. But I want to talk to you first. I want to break the ice. I know it's a little bit of time has passed now since the Olympics, but it's still close enough. I feel like we could talk about it, especially with the gymnast. You know, just how exciting was it for you? And did you feel like, it met the hype?
Oh, yeah. I was very happy with their performance. I think they all did really well, and I think they all individually had a goal going into the Olympics, and I feel that they all met that goal. My eyes were locked onto the TV every single session. I think they all did really well.
So something I want to ask you about, because me and Daniel have talked about it. You know, I've went and seen Suni Lee 3 different times at Auburn, and she didn't look the way I've seen her when she's competing for USA. And so me and Daniel have kind of talked about it, and you've competed at such a high level, and you're fixing to, compete for Oklahoma. When you're on that national stage, is it something different that you lock in, or is it like as simple as, she was competing on that stage first and then went to Auburn, like you almost, you come down to your competition maybe?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, definitely competing like on the national level is definitely something different and definitely something not everybody gets to experience. It's definitely a lot. I feel like kind of when you're there though, you're kind of just locked in. You're not worried about, oh, thousands of people are watching me not only in this arena but on TV, Um I don't necessarily think that it's any different in the college level. I mean, it's still what the same amount of people watching you in the arena and
A
outside the
lot of
arena,
times it can
if
it can
not
be more, yeah,
if
with
not
the
even more.
SEC.
Exactly. Yeah. So no, I don't think that necessarily affected her in any way.
Yeah, no, it was interesting. I'd tell Daniel I'd watch her on the bars, and I saw her in person. I was like, she didn't do no routines like that when I was there, but hey, she still nailed it nonetheless. As a matter of fact, I said something to you about Kaya Johnson before the show, and it actually took Kaya had to have at least a 9.95. She got a 10 on floor 2 years ago when SUNY and Auburn came to town. It was a top 10 matchup, and so it was cool seeing SUNY push Kaya to having to
Yeah,
deliver in front of her home crowd. So it was really cool. But,
that's awesome.
thinking of floor routines, we like to talk to athletes about music. Addison, for you, if you could go see any musician anywhere in concert, who are you going to see? Where are you going to see them?
Okay. Well, my answer would have been Zach Bryan, but last week I went and saw him, and it was literally the best experience of my life. But I obviously would have preferred not to stay in my hometown to go see him. So if I had to choose another place to go see him, it would probably be Nashville, I'd say.
I'm just glad it met the mark. That story could have went the complete opposite way, and you could have said it didn't live up to the expectations and hype, and that would have been sad.
Oh no, yeah. It lived up to the expectations.
Daniel, how glad are you to not hear Morgan Wallen's name for a night?
I mean, I had my button on the end. I was getting ready to roll out of here. She said Morgan Wallen.
I mean, Morgan didn't even do anything personally to us, Addison, but he's been said so much. We're not fans ever, ever. So, but at least he's killing the game, because if 9 out of every 10 collegiate athletes come on here and say that's who they go to see, then, he's doing the thing.
Yeah.
But the last question I got for you, and then we'll get into your story. Got to talk movies. Let's go with this. Have you been to the movie theater lately? And if you have, what did you go see?
Actually, yes. Again, last week I went with my brothers and we saw the movie Long Legs. It's supposed to be the scariest movie of the decade, and I'm not trying to hate on it, but it was seriously the worst movie I have ever seen.
So
It
we got the best concert, got the worst movie.
Yeah, it just didn't have an ending. It was like, how movies like build up and then something happens?
Mm-hmm.
There was a build up and then nothing happened.
Well, I'm glad that you gave me this information, because me, my wife, and daughter like to watch scary movies together, and now we know to just not even we may even give it a shot to watch it, but we're gonna go in knowing, temper our expectations. This movie probably won't be that good. But we went and saw Despicable Me 4 with my son at the movie theater last week, and it was awesome for a kids movie. I love these kids movies that are definitely geared towards making sure adults laugh, and this one nailed. So you should have went with the kids movie, Addison. Now you know.
Yeah, now I know. I've learned my lesson.
But now that me and Daniel have learned who to go see in music and what movies to go see, we can get into your story. But we're now the fans know. All right, go see Zach Bryan, and do not go see Long Legs.
Yes.
I mean, you had to have heard the name of that movie and was like, I don't know about this.
But the name of the movie sounds like it would be scary, doesn't it?
Did you IMDb it first?
What does that mean?
Oh, so you go to, all right, we're going to teach you a very valuable lesson in life right here. If you go to IMDb and type in the movie, it's the Internet Movie Database, and you have the people who've already seen it before it came out, giving you, their grading, their critic scale. And so a lot of movies, you'll get an idea like if it's like a 7 or above, it's a good movie. If it's in the 6s, it's questionable. But if it's terrible, which I bet if I looked up Long Legs right now, it'll be like a 5. And so that way you would have known to steer clear of it. As a matter of fact, Daniel, I'm going to look it up right now. Give me your guess on Long Legs.
It is probably a 2.
2. Just because she said it was bad, huh?
Yeah, I'm going with the name is not very like creative, and then what she just told me, so I'm going with a 2. I don't even know.
Maybe she's harsh on movies. It's got a 7.1.
No way.
It does.
Who is it?
It's got Nicolas Cage, for crying out loud, Daniel. It's got to be decent.
There must be some blind people critiquing this movie.
All right, now I have a mission. I've got to go find out if this movie's terrible or not. And if she is in fact right, I will make sure everybody knows to not go see this movie. If she is wrong, I will say, hey, we will never take Addison's advice on what movies to see.
Okay.
Well, let's do this. Addison, what's your favorite movie?
Oh my gosh.
I always like to say instead of favorite movie, because it's always hard to answer. What's like your go-to movie? Like if a movie you can watch 1,000 times over and it's never old.
Okay, well, for a little backstory, I have 3 brothers. Okay, so I would say Spider-Man: No Way Home.
All right, Jim. So what does that tell you about her knowledge of movies? If she's gonna rate Long Legs as terrible,
or Deadpool.
Oh man, I was already gonna be a harsh critic, and then she said Deadpool. She said Spider-Man: No Way Home. It's literally like of the Spider-Mans, it's probably like the 8th best one. So she was already going down a slippery slope, and then she said Deadpool. So you know what? I see a clear distinction here, Daniel. I see an 18-year-old versus a 40-year-old's opinion, and that's where I think we're at here.
He's not always right, Addison. Let's just put it that way.
But it's like 99%. It's like 99%. I mean, let's keep it real.
All right, let's get into you though. All right, backstory. Tell us a little bit about home. Where are you from?
I am from Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Lancaster, Pennsylvania. What is Lancaster, Pennsylvania known for? Like, if I went there, what's the one thing you're like, you got to do that, and not go see Long Legs?
Not necessarily you have to do that, but it's like home of the Amish, so there's horse and buggy riding all around. So that's always something everyone's like mind blown about.
I'm telling you what, Daniel, the amount of times our power has went out in the neighborhood lately, like I need to go talk to the Amish and see how they're doing this regularly.
Go ahead. You're not gonna like it. You're not.
Bro, because I mean, I can't. I don't know how they live without AC. What are we doing?
So, is this an Amish? Like, is the Amish population enough to where like you see Amish culture on a regular basis, or it's just like they're like secluded in their own little area, but they're there?
You basically see them a lot. I mean, it kind of depends on like what parts of Lancaster you're in. Like where my gym is, I've never seen an Amish person near there. But if you drive like 5 minutes the other way, it'll just be like horse and buggy everywhere.
Jeez, I mean that's mind blowing.
Yeah.
I can't even fathom. Like I get it, but I don't. I don't understand. I respect it. That's their way of life. That's what they choose. But man, could you imagine everything being just that much harder and that much longer to do? Like,
yeah.
Geez, that's.
Is there good food in your hometown? That's what I like when people, the first thing they'll mention is a restaurant that's like the go-to. I don't like the Daniel. That told me no.
She's gonna be like,
I mean, no, I don't think there's like a restaurant that like people. Let's go to Lancaster, PA, so we can go to. But the Amish people make some good like baked goods and baked oatmeal, that kind of stuff, like the Amish stands. I feel
Okay.
are very popular.
Hey, Lancaster, go see the Amish, get you some oatmeal, get you some baked goods. They'll take good care of you for sure.
Yep.
Um, let's talk family. All right. Obviously, three siblings, Alec,
Yes.
Tanner, Caden. Both Alec and Tanner are collegiate swimmers at LaSalle and Towson. So we say this all the time. It would be nice if families like yours would sprinkle a little bit of athleticism on people like us so that we could like have just a little, not a lot, just a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Um, obviously with you being the youngest, I'm
And Daniel,
assuming.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't put in the notes their academic standards in there. It's not just athletic too. They've gotten the complete package. It's very unfair.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even ask for any of the brain part. I just asked for a little sprinkle, a little smidge, like the salt guy. Sprinkle a little salt, sprinkle a little athleticism on us. But obviously, growing up with two older brothers, what's that like? Is there competition within the house amongst all of you, or you kind of just, do your own thing and you watch them kind of battle it out?
Well, I actually also have a younger brother, so it's two than me
Oh,
and then a younger. Um, and I mean, I feel like it's like any other brother sister bond, quote unquote bonding. Like, I mean, I'm always getting picked on. I'm like was obsessed with football. I wanted to play football when I was younger. But truly I am very blessed to have them. Everyone's always like, you want to have, why don't you want sisters? Like, wouldn't it be nice to have sisters? I'm like, no, I am perfectly content with my brothers.
yeah. When you're out there throwing down in the gym this year for Oklahoma, you're gonna be like, see, that's why you don't have sisters, right there,
Yeah,
getting
exactly.
after it. Speaking of gymnastics, what age did you start gym?
As soon as I could walk.
Okay, so your little 1 year old with your diaper on out there doing some floor rolls, forward rolls, and some back levers and all kinds of.
I mean, he sent me footage of his daughter at that age, and it teaches me what's really going on. People think that you're not doing anything, but you're learning a basic foundation for just being on the mat, and like he's saying, rolling around, tumbling. That's going to prepare you to where, when you're say 3 years old, you can actually start being taught some tricks.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my parents own the gym that I trained at, so they are my coaches throughout my whole gymnastics career. So I was in the gym like the day after I was born. So
Oh,
I grew up in the gym.
so she's doing bar routines at like 2 years old, like
I think she was
full fledged,
doing
you know,
bar routines in the stomach, bro.
you
Like,
know, releases and all kinds of stuff. By the time she's age 5, she's a level 7 gymnast and just killing it.
I'm just glad, being that they own a gym. She's Oklahoma level. How, what would it say about her parents if she was like, I don't know, going to? I was trying to think of somebody real bad, and I didn't want to throw shade again for a second time. But you know what I'm trying to say. Luckily, she's going to the best of best. It says a lot
don't
about her parents.
don't do Luisa Blanco like that twice in the next
No, I
round.
wouldn't have done Alabama twice. I was trying to think, man. Who do I would have said Florida, but that's just me hating because they're actually good. But I still would have said Florida.
For real. All right, so obviously to me it sounds like gymnastics, you didn't have an option, like you were going to do that. um but growing up, who's your biggest influence in becoming really good? Was it what you saw in gymnastics on TV in the Olympics, or was it someone in your gym, or was it mom, was it dad, was it your brothers? Who's your biggest influence as you're progressing through, as you get better and better at gymnastics?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say my parents were my biggest influence. A lot of girls have always asked, like, isn't it hard having your parents as your coaches to try to separate being mom and dad and then being your tough coaches? And I think they did a really good job at separating it which like at home I was their daughter and at the gym I was their athlete. So I think they did a really good job separating it. And honestly, I don't think I would have. I would definitely not have wanted it any other way. I mean, they're my parents. They understand me. They understand my body. They understand what I need to eat, what I need to do to fuel myself, when they need to push me, when they need to back off. So I think it was a really strong connection, and I think it's made our bond a lot stronger than it would have been. So I'm really grateful for that.
So when it comes to club gymnastics, is your team out of that gym, or did you go to a different gym to compete?
Um, my team is out of that gym.
Okay. And
Yeah.
what is the team name?
Prestige.
Prestige.
I
All
like
right. Yeah, just simple. Like not the Facebook, just Facebook.
that.
Not the prestigious, just prestige. I
Yeah.
got you. I see what y'all are doing out there. So we talked to gymnasts, high caliber, and there's at an early age, there's this elite level that they have and that they are aspiring to be. And you seem like you fit the mold of that. And then these gymnasts have to make a decision with school. Some of them decide to do traditional high school, some decide they want to do homeschool. What did school look like for you, especially like as you got older and let's say high school times?
Yeah. I mean, all the way from first through sixth grade, I was homeschooled, like my mom taught me. And then after sixth grade, I went into cyber schooling. And I mean, I had the choice, like my parents offered for me to go to high school, and just wasn't it wouldn't have fit into my schedule, and it would have made my life 1,000 times harder. So, I mean, I felt like I kind of got the social aspect of like public school in the gym. And again, I have brothers, like I was always hanging out with them, I was always hanging out with their friends. So I felt like that was the most important thing for me, was the social aspect of it, but I felt like I have exceeded that in the gym. So
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, I don't think people understand the amount of hours that y'all train and why a normal academic schedule just doesn't work because, Daniel talking about what he did, the couple, athletes that we did that went to school that were gymnasts, they only still went for a few hours, right? And then left. Like it never had a full, academic school day just because there's so many hours in y'all's training process, recovery process, all that. So especially competing at the level you were already. I mean, you were already competing, nationally, internationally. And, I want to talk about first, getting voted by your fellow competitors in 2022, as the gymnastics sports person of the year. What was that like, because it's one thing for your parents to feel a certain way about you, but for your peers to feel that way about you.
yeah, I mean, if anybody ever asked me what is your like favorite memory, or like a memory you'll hold on to forever in elite gymnastics, that is always my go-to. It was just such an honor. I i feel like in elite gymnastics everyone's always like, oh, it's so strict and they don't have fun and they don't cheer for each other, and I was just going out there and showing my true personality. And other girls appreciated that, and they appreciated that I was always there for them and I was cheering for them. And I just think they appreciated that I was just being my normal self inside the gym as I am outside of the gym.
Yeah, and with that, you'll fit right into Oklahoma. The camaraderie with those girls, even when I watched them for the first time struggle, you didn't see anybody getting upset with one another. You just saw everyone having each other's back, and even when it ended, just the way they did. And I think you've got to have that, whether for the ups or the downs in gymnastics, that person that's always there for your teammate. I mean, gymnastics is just like none other. Just the way y'all are there for each other to encourage each other through every competition, learning each other's moves, all that stuff. But you made your international debut in 2022 at the. I'm not even going to try to say this.
Oh, dang. I was waiting for this.
Some bodily world challenge. I said it. Cup, and you won gold on vault and bronze on bars. Talk about your first international experience and being able to take gold, on one and bronze on the other.
Yeah. I was so incredibly excited to be chosen for that meet. I was on cloud nine. Um, it was such an incredible meet, and it was so memorable because obviously it was my first international assignment, and I just wanted to go out there and do the best that like I know I could do. So I went with Levi and Caitlin Jong. I don't want to say Levi's name because I know I'm gonna mispronounce it, and I don't want to do that. But yeah, it was a really good group of girls, and we just went out there and we had fun with it.
So where was this taking place at?
Like, what was the arena called?
Where no, what like city, state, country, like because it says
Oh,
international, it doesn't say where y'all were at.
it was Hungary.
Nice.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I knew it's international competition, but that doesn't mean it didn't take place in the United States. So that's awesome that you're literally getting to go that far to compete
yeah,
at such an early age. So, I mean, I feel like now, like, how can anything intimidate you at a young age? You're going all the way to Hungary to compete. So, that's really, really cool. And, obviously, you continue two-time Winter Cup and American Classic participant, represented the U.S. alongside OU men's gymnastic alumnus I'm going to make an attempt again, Mulder, to become the second American duo to win the 2022 Swiss Cup. So, talk to me about the duo, right? Because remember, I'm somebody who's more familiar with collegiate gymnastics, so I'm not seeing duos like it's saying in y'all winning. So, how does that lay out?
yeah. It was different than any meet I have ever been to, and it's actually very rare for this to happen. But it's you're paired with a guy from your country, a guy or a girl, whichever opposite gender, and the guy competes like certain events, the girl competes certain events, and then you combine your scores, and then basically everything erases, and you each get to pick one more event, and then you're like battling it out between like the US. It was the US and Italy that were battling it out, and then we ended
Daniel,
up.
this sounds awesome. I need this done more, and I need it televised.
How do you get paired up with Yule? Was it just this is the American team and they paired you up accordingly, or you
Um,
reached out to him or he reached out to you and like, hey, let's do this?
yeah. I went to World Selection Camp right before that, and I didn't make it. So then I came home and I got a call from the national coordinator asking or saying that I was selected for Swiss Cup and asking if I wanted to go. And she told me that the guy participant would have been or was Yul Moldauer. So I accepted, obviously.
No,
um,
I mean,
and
think about this, Daniel. If
fulfilling.
you even showed, not only we have this competition, you had like drafting taking place on TV. Put them on spot. You have like X amount of gymnasts competing, and then like they have to pick their partner draft style, right? So I'd be like, I got Haley Bryant, whatever. So what I'm saying, like that would be entertainment at its best, and then they compete and see how it plays out. Daniel, let's make it happen.
You want to do that? You'd be
Yeah,
like, you'd be like, in the first round of the Swiss Cup Winter Cup draft, the
exactly.
Americans pick Addison Fatta.
At least you called her Addison and not
I,
Allison.
I got it right that time.
Are you picking? I mean, are you gonna be biased and pick Luisa Blanco? I mean, is that where we're going? If you got to pick,
Just competed in the Olympics, pretty badass. So yeah, I'd probably go that route.
okay, just checking. You can pick anybody. I was seeing if you were gonna
I
stay.
mean,
I was gonna see if you were gonna stay loyal.
I don't think Simone is gonna acknowledge my presence.
I'm gonna blow your mind. I'm going to pick somebody from the most hated team ever. I'm pulling Trinity Thomas, and we're gonna take this thing. Boom.
Good luck.
Now, moving on. So clearly, when you are competing on the level that you are, Addison, every school in the country has got to be reaching out, and obviously, I'm assuming they're reaching out to you before the rules probably even changed. So you're probably getting reached out to at a very early age. Is that the case? Did you have basically a majority of the major gymnastics colleges reaching out?
Yeah. Florida and Oklahoma reached out before the rules changed, and then obviously the rules they both offered me a scholarship then, and then the rules kind of changed, and obviously I could have committed then, but I really wanted to enjoy my recruiting process and go to all these officials and meet all these new people. So I
Yeah,
ended up going on 5 different ones.
we've talked to so many athletes in so many different sports, and I'm glad that they changed the rule because every athlete has told me and Daniel that the ones who did make the decision early, it's not regrets, but they wish they would have gotten to experience more, get older, mature when they make their decision, get to go on all the visits because, a lot of these athletes making decisions seventh, eighth grade, I mean, way too early to be making life changing decisions. And then, like you said, getting to visit five. Like some just, they visited the one and it was done. And it was like, get the experience of actually go checking them out. So I'm glad that you got to do that. And obviously picking where you wanted to in Oklahoma because you got to see multiple different options. And so what about Oklahoma made it the place for you?
They were my fourth visit, and honestly, right when I stepped on campus, I just felt like a strong connection with the coaches and all of the athletes. Um, and obviously, they are the best coaching staff in NCAA. And that obviously was a big part of it. I just I don't know. I stepped on campus. I felt at home. I felt like I had a strong bond. I trusted the coaches, which I think is very important to have trust in the coaches. And I know that they don't only want you to succeed in the sport of gymnastics. Like they want you to succeed in life. And I think that was a setting stone for me.
Yeah, Oklahoma is very interesting because you would think with the way, they always seem to be perfect and the way they're always winning that they would be like robots. But, we've had four of the gymnasts on you making five. They're the most, genuine, nice young women, and they're not robotic, they're not mean like you think, like, and that's a reflection of the coaching, right? It's not like you go there and like you're not allowed to have fun. I think, immediately to Danielle Severs, and she comes on here and she's just a sparkling personality, and those girls love each other, and it just, yeah, the culture in Oklahoma is just something that I would absolutely want to be a part of. And when you're winning the way they are, and you're somebody who's accustomed to winning, right? Like that's got to matter. Like, I'm going to go somewhere that I'm going to be able to compete for championships because, I mean, that's what I've done. So I feel like you're in the right place when you talk about the coaching staff, when you talk about your fellow gymnasts you're going to be competing with. And then, the fact that undoubtedly, you're going to be competing for a championship. So, with that, I talk about those upperclassmen that we've had on here. Oklahoma is going to have a, a ton of upperclassmen that are seriously good. So for you as a freshman, just how excited are you to? I know you've been competing at a high level, but nonetheless on the collegiate level, kind of be able to go under their wing. And then, as you see, we talk about LSU last year. Connor Griffin was a massive part of them winning. So I expect you to do that, but still, nonetheless, learning from the older girls.
Right, yeah. I mean, I definitely do really look up to them. They're the team leaders of the group, and they want nothing more than to have us succeed and have a smooth transition from club gymnastics to college gymnastics. So they've just been a really big help and just very supportive with us.
I mean, think about it, Daniel. When we talk about Jordan or Danielle or Faith, and then you have someone like Addison coming in, and all those girls are already coming back. Like it almost seems unfair, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course. But then you look over the past 10 years and they probably have like a trophy room and there's 6 championships over the past 10 years. It's like they've dominated the decade. Like, so yeah, it seems a little unfair, but I mean, people go there for a reason, and that's not to finish second. So
I know this. If it wasn't for the fact that I watched them go to LSU 2 years ago and absolutely put a can of whoop on LSU, I'd say maybe that's bad luck for them because, this past season, Daniel, think about it, they did not have one bad meet, not one. And then I show up to watch them in Fort Worth, and all of a sudden it's like, what happened? But
they weren't even close. Like nobody would have pictured the season to end the way that it did, just because there was like Oklahoma was beating people by 2 and 3 points, and it
I
was
mean,
just
Addison,
unheard of.
it was interesting. I've talked about on here. I told Daniel it's the craziest thing because when I go to gymnastics meets, people are usually very good about cheering for the other team because when you see good gymnasts do great, like it's hard not to cheer it on. So you can go to LSU against Alabama and you'll see LSU people cheering for Alabama or vice versa. When Oklahoma started messing up, I literally looked over and I told Daniel there were Utah and Florida people like cheering with excitement. And I was like, that is so rude. But then on the flip side, I told Daniel, I actually get what was going on. Like, they never thought they had a chance of beating Oklahoma. That was the reality. And they were like, oh my God, we can actually win. And like, I was like, it's still rude, but like, I kind of got it. Like, because up until that, it didn't seem like Oklahoma was beatable. And so it's crazy that just Oklahoma is that good and they're going to be returning the talent they are. And y'all going to, be stacking and adding on girls like you. I can't wait to see it. Daniel's going to come see it. Daniel, if they have a Super 16, can we go to Vegas, man?
Depends
Am
on
I asking too much to get you to go to Vegas?
Vegas is.
I mean, Vegas or Norman, Oklahoma. Where do you really want to go?
I'd probably fare better in Norman, Oklahoma.
I hear you. But we will. We've already said it. Daniel is going to go with me to see Oklahoma. He's getting better and better about going to see the guests. He's got 2 little girls. It's not by choice he's not going. He's got to take care of his little girls, but he's going to get out and see Oklahoma this year. There's no doubt about it. So one last question and we'll play the game. Oklahoma moves into the SEC this year just in time for you to come. You know how good the SEC is. It only makes sense that Oklahoma is now there, and it's just even more stacked. How excited, because we were talking about, the amount of people you're going to be able to compete in, and every single week you're going to be somewhere that's going to be a packed arena. Just how excited are you for that, to be in the SEC with your team?
Oh, I am beyond excited. I mean, I can't even imagine the upperclassmen. I mean, it's such a big transition going from conference to conference. But I am just beyond excited.
I can't wait to see the schedule, Daniel, to see if they go to the PMAC, because she needs to be a part of it. It's not being an LSU homer bias. The Oklahoma girls have even came on here and said it. The energy in the PMAC is different.
Yeah.
I mean, trust me, I don't think Oklahoma's going to be short of energy. They
came in there and whooped LSU last time, even though we had 13,000 and we had the pyrotechnics, but it still didn't. We came out like believing for about 5 minutes.
Oklahoma said, "Yeah, go ahead, bring the pyro, bring them flames."
It didn't help.
I'm gonna go back home sad.
Daniel, didn't help. The morale was down because Kaya Johnson got knocked out for the season the meet before against Kentucky. Don't forget.
Wow. Still, they put that whooping on. So
I think it was like 2 points, like you were talking about. Typical 2 to 3 point beat down.
That's a lot. All right, Addison. The interview part's over. It's time for the fun stuff. It's time for the game.
Okay.
The game is very simple. It's called This or That. We have a bunch of baseball players on here most of the time, so I got to keep it really simple for them so that they don't get confused. So this will be real easy for you. I'm going to give you two options. You choose one option or the other.
Okay.
You can't say both, can't say neither. You just got to be decisive and pick one.
Okay.
Simple, right?
Yeah, simple.
All right, before we get started, Jim, This or That is brought to you by...
Gotta do Chinook Cedary tonight. 8 flavors, mild to wild. Faith Torres, IOTB guest and Oklahoma gymnast, is the first gymnast to be an ambassador for them. So go out and get your seeds. I believe her code, don't quote me just yet, but I think it's Torres25. I'll find it out for you. Nonetheless, if you just look it up, Daniel, she'll be the only gymnast. It's easy to find. And go out there, get you some cinnamon toast and some barbecue, mix them together. Daniel calls it smoking toast. It's the best in the business.
Best flavor combination you can find. And that's my plug for Chinook tonight. Go get it. Help out the athletes. Grow the game. Now, it's time for This or That. First question. Pretty simple. Would you rather have coffee or would you rather have an energy drink? Ooh.
Oh my
It's
gosh,
almost pumpkin spice season.
I'm gonna go with coffee.
And just like that, she lost a sponsor opportunity.
No, what is your coffee of choice?
I don't really know. I just have a Keurig and then I add almond milk to it, and the different pods are like different flavors.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's the way to go.
Daniel, there's a place called Lighthouse Coffee right outside campus in Baton Rouge. And I went with Kaya there, and clearly I don't drink coffee, as you know, but clearly their coffee's got to be good because like another gymnast came in and another gymnast came in. And then next thing you know, the volleyball players were coming in. And I think every athlete that goes to LSU was in this coffee shop. And I was like, clearly this Lighthouse Coffee has got it going. So if you're a listener in the Baton Rouge area and you're not getting Lighthouse Coffee, what are you doing with your life?
Lights out coffee. That's what it sounds like. All right. Hard shell tacos or soft shell tacos?
Soft shell.
It's really strange. I like hard shell tacos. I don't know.
It depends on what are you going chicken or beef, because I feel like I like chicken better with soft. I like beef better with hard. So that matters to me.
Here's a fun fact for you guys. I don't like chicken tacos.
Bro.
It's let me take that back. Not that I don't like it. I would prefer not to have chicken tacos.
I mean, I'm bougie. I want steak if we're just doing this.
Wow.
I mean, are you with me, Addison? I know you're feeling the steak taco.
Yeah.
All right. Luxury car or sports car, fast car?
Luxury car.
Yeah. Feeling that.
I'm gonna have to take that off, Daniel. Nobody wants a fast. What is wrong with everybody? These kids today, they don't drive fast.
We want room. We don't want to. It's hard for my 40-year-old body to get in and out of them.
But you're not the one answering the question. These are college kids, and they're all saying luxury. They hadn't been fast before, clearly. KJ Johnson, ironically, I think it was a gymnast, the last person I fixed fast, and that's like she was like 2 years ago.
But that's only because she had like a souped up like Challenger or whatever.
That car lost a little respect for me though when she took baby Gronk for a ride in it. That was a terrible promo.
Hey, it is what it is. Beam or bars?
Bars.
Vault or floor?
Floor.
Bars or floor?
Floor.
Wow. That's your favorite, the floor?
My favorite's floor.
I mean, there was no hesitation on any of those.
Do you do wolf turns on the floor?
I did in elite, but I'm not going to in college.
No. It's not the what is it? They call it what do they call it? The non something skill that you have to do? I forget. I don't know. But something.
I know this. If she's going to compete at Oklahoma, it feels like they all are all around. Like, a lot of these schools, you'll just see, gymnasts maybe compete in one or two events. It feels like if you're going to go to Oklahoma, you better be awesome at everything.
And you better know everybody's floor routine. And you better do it with them on the side. And if you don't, you're going to be banished from the floor. No, I don't know.
That's got to be my favorite part, though, when they're all doing the routine with them and they stick it like – the energy level is awesome.
Okay. Do you all right, Addison, be real.
Okay.
Do you really like doing that?
Doing floor routines on the side?
Yeah, like when someone else is doing their floor routine, like you're doing it like with them, like you're
honestly, I like haven't really experienced that because I've never been like part of a team, It's always just been me in the elite,
Daniel, there's only one gymnast I watch that doesn't do others' floor routine, and it won't surprise you when I tell you she's not against the show. Haley Bryant is a machine. She is never with everybody else. She is on the side doing her own thing.
Hey, it's pretty good. I wouldn't say that's the right move, but she's pretty good.
I don't know. She's got I don't think she's just so locked in. Like she's not talking to anybody. And when you see how well she does, it's like you said, I mean, clearly what she's doing works.
Yeah. All right, Addison, what's scarier, snakes or spiders? Or Long Legs, the movie?
Clowns.
I guess snakes. I'm not really scared of either.
Ooh.
Wow.
She can come kill the spiders at my house because I'm scared.
Okay.
All right, going back to movies. Would you rather watch a rom-com or a scary movie?
Scary.
Okay. Luxury swimming pool, or would you rather go to the beach?
Beach.
All right, and the last question. Big question. All right. Prepare
Okay.
yourself.
Okay.
If I came to you, Addison, I said, hey, here's a suitcase. It's full of crispy mint $100 bills, and there's $5 million in this briefcase. You can have this briefcase, or in this other briefcase is a national championship at Oklahoma. Which one do you take?
National championship at Oklahoma.
All right. So that's the wrong answer, but here's how I guess I can rationalize you saying that.
Okay.
First and foremost, let's say you go there and you spend 4 years there. The odds of you winning a national championship are very high. So like you don't need you should just take the money because you're probably going to have the opportunity to get one.
Do you remember we had to up the ante for Jordan Bowers because she already had 2? We had to say get a third and keep all 3 or 25 million. You remember? Like we couldn't even do the 5 million.
Yeah, we finally got her to agree to the money, but it was like
25. Yeah,
the worst negotiation skills on the
and then we had I don't know if you watched Survivor, but we actually were at a Survivor watch party, and Q, who's on the show, we were at his premiere, and he heard that and he hijacked my headphones and mic and started, doesn't even know Jordan, starts yelling at her basically to tell her that she's crazy because she would take championships over money. And it was like, we know why you're playing Survivor. Clearly, that $1 million means a lot to Q.
I mean, we saw Q play Survivor.
He didn't play it well, no.
I mean,
he was a better football player than he was Survivor player. That's for sure.
True that. All right, Addison, before you get out of here, anything you want to plug or promote or just say hi to mom and dad? Anything?
Nothing.
Oh, she's lying. Hold on.
Nothing.
Oh. I got it. Let's see. Right here. You can get her merch at Fans Meet Idols. Yeah. You can get hoodies and t-shirts. Why is she not? You get it, man, Daniel. You can get a cell phone case with her on it.
Get out of here.
I'm serious. I might have one tomorrow.
Do you, true or false, do you have your own cell phone case with you on it?
False.
Did you come up with the motto on your sticker? That's what I want to know.
I did.
So, Daniel, you can not only get her on the cell phone, but it will say, don't trip over something that is behind you. I'm going to order it tomorrow. Think this is a game. Look, I just got a straight black cover. It's got to go.
I mean, yeah. That's just weak. Hey, you definitely need a new cell phone cover, so that's what you need. Don't trip on anything behind you, right?
Exactly. And I will have motivation every single day on top of an awesome looking cover.
There you go. All right, Addison, I want to, on behalf of the podcast, wish you a very good first year, a healthy first year, a successful first year. And when you guys win it all, you got to commit to coming back on, and we'll unpack it all and we'll break it down.
Okay, that sounds good.
Daniel, I'm going to be busy because you've said that to every Oklahoma gymnast. And, once we have the next one on, that's going to make 6. Like, I'm going to have a lot of booking to do.
I mean, we can double them up like we normally do.
I mean, we never had 6 guests on it. We never had 6 on a show. We'll just have to get wild. Like,
it's all good. But all right, let's get up out of here. I want to thank our guest, Addison Fatta, not to be confused with Allison that we don't know. If you like hearing Addison's story, or you just like hearing us average Joes talk X's and O's, please like and share the podcast on Facebook, retweet us on X, listen and subscribe wherever you stream your podcast. As always, comments, ratings, feedback, thumbs up, hearts, hugs, loves. We'll take it all. And Jim, what do we got coming up? We got Pros and Joes. We got another episode with David Meadows. What do we got?
Yeah, we got To Me and You tomorrow night. We got Savannah Bananas with David Meadows, their superstar. And then tomorrow morning, me and Mike got Pros and Joes with your MLB ballers, Trey Lipscomb from the Washington Nationals and Chase Dolander from the Colorado Rockies. So be tuned for a doubleheader.
Big things. Stick around. Hear us. Get those. Remember, YouTube, subscribe, hit the notifications so you know when we put out that content. And as always, this has been the Off the Bench podcast. Strong body, sharp minds, grit and grind all the time. We are out.